to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, would you please read the notice of the special meeting?
Yes, Mr. President. Date, April 19th, 2022. To the members of Municipal Council from James DeLisio, President, Councilors, by authority of Article 2, Section 2-7C of the Attleboro Home Rule Charter, I hereby call a special meeting of the Municipal Council as follows. Tuesday, April 26, 2022, at 7 p.m. at 77 Park Street, Council Chambers, to discuss any legal matters before the Council. Sincerely, James DeLisio, President.
Thank you very much. So the reason we're having a special meeting is twofold. One, we want to give Dorothy Brissette the opportunity to go through, present the CDBG budget, but also we have a license for an application store flammables for Leach Garner, which is, both of these are time sensitive. Ordinarily would like to do things on their own nights, but we figured it makes sense. Once we are done with the public hearings, we'll go into recess. We'll go into committee reports. Once committee reports are done, we'll reconvene and we'll vote out anything that's time sensitive that can't wait until next week. From there, actually, I forgot the charter objection. So as soon as I'm done with this explanation, we're going to go into the charter objection from last week. Then we'll go into the public hearing. From the public hearings, we'll recess. We'll go into committee. We'll come back from committee, and then that should be it. Where it is a special meeting, I'm still going to look to suspend the rules because there will be no communications, there will be no committee of the whole this evening. So that being said, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Mr. Waterman, and the vote is whether or not to suspend the rules.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Vice President Kobus.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone.
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
President DeLisio.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. We now operating under suspended rules, and I will recognize Councilor Conti so we can take up the business of the charter objection from last week.
So, we were discussing a matter in the,
Point of order, Mr. Conti, if you could just read the motion,
Yep.
and then we'll go right into the discussion.
I gotta find it. I got a little paper here.
Page 18.
It's on page 18.
Oh, page 18. That's the site plan review and amendments to a zoning ordinance. So I got the wrong page 18. Exactly, page 18. Reporting for the Special Committee on Tax Abatement Review and the charter objection of April 19, 2022, from the docket of December 21st, 2021. I move to adopt a senior means tested exemption by ways of a special act as a way of relieving some of the property tax burden of certain qualifying Attleboro residents.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Yes, Mr. President, the reason why I asked for a charter objection is because a few of the councilors felt uncomfortable, and perhaps it was because they didn't have enough time to further study the motion. And our charter says that when a councilor feels unwilling or unable to vote, I think the charter says when a councilor feels they are unable to vote, that they should file a charter objection, which puts a stop to everything, in case the people watching this video don't understand. And so it gives us a week to further explore what they were uncomfortable about, and gives them an opportunity to come back and vote the measure. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Before we go to the vote, Just my own thoughts, I think, I understand what you just said about what the charter objection is. I think we had an opportunity, instead of going right to the charter objection when we were having the vote, that we could have reneged the second, had it go back to committee so we could have a more robust discussion, and as opposed to now, there really can't be much more discussion on this. So, just my own thoughts. I'd be disingenuous if I didn't share that. Do we have any other questions or concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Oh.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Kobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes,
8 yeas, 1 nay.
thank you. Motion passes. Madam Clerk, will you please read the notice for the first public hearing?
First public hearing. Public hearing relative to the administration's program year 2022 CDBG entitlement budget for the period of July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. Program year 2022 annual action plan. Authorization to submit said program year 2022 CDBG entitlement and program year 2022 annual action plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on or before May 15th, 2022.
Thank you. And do we have anyone to speak in favor?
Good evening, members of the Municipal Council. Dorothy Brissett, CD Director for the city. I'm pleased to be before you folks this evening to present the program year 2022 Community Development Block Grant. We have been administering this grant fund as an entitled community since the late 80s, early 90s. Cities received millions of dollars in CD funds, and the majority of the funds have been used to assist those who are 80% of median income or less. So just to give you some retrospective of what that means, a family of 4 could not earn more than $66,900. So these funds are really being used to help some of the lowest income individuals in our community. I do have a presentation for you folks this evening. Again, I'm going to apologize in advance for my inability to have a good relationship with technology. So if I have any issues here, you do have the packet before you as well. Okay. So just a brief description of what we've done so far this year. In the current program year, we started our year with $533,000. Through March, we've expended $413,000, and through June, we'll expend an additional $120,000. With these funds, we'll assist about 450 individuals and families in the city. We also had the opportunity to, to receive additional CARES Act money last year. During last year's proposal period, I had requested an amendment for an additional round of CARES Act funds. These funds are specifically allocated to assist those who have been affected by the virus. At the beginning of the program year, we had $497,000. Our total allocation was $654,000. Through March, we've expended $218,000 of those funds, and we expect to expend another around $11,000 through June. With those monies, we have served 80 individuals and families. The type of services that we're providing include rental and mortgage assistance. HUD actually, at the time I presented the budget to you folks last year, HUD only allowed us to use CARES Act funds for up to 3 consecutive months of either mortgage or rental assistance for those who are at risk of being evicted or at risk of foreclosure. They had since extended that policy to include up to 6 months of rental, and now we're hearing that it could go up to 9 months to a year if needed. So the plan for the balance of these funds would be to continue to offer that type of assistance to the individuals who are affected by the virus. We did also help 4 existing businesses, with their rental assistance for their location because they were closed for the majority of the pandemic and had a really difficult time starting back up again, meeting the requirements of the social distancing. needs. There were rental assistance that was needed, and an opportunity was offered to 4 businesses within the year. So for the upcoming program year, which starts on July 1, we have not received our annual allocation to date. Last year I got it in February because there was a big push to move the money. This year, due to staffing issues is what we're hearing, the final allocation has not been released. We do expect to have those monies and have that dollar amount available to us before the submission deadline date, which is May 15th. So as of right now, we're working on a proposed budget. There was discussion that we were also going to receive more than likely a 4.5% cut. Monies are being used for other initiatives. HUD money is being used for other initiatives, and that was passed through Senate. So we're expecting a 4.5% cut. So this allocation of $395,803 takes that 4% cut into consideration. We expect to receive about $25,000 in program income. This is income that's generated for any economic development projects that we assist. They do pay back half of the money that they receive in a 0% interest loan, and then also any multifamily or large housing rehabilitation projects, single-family housing rehabilitation projects that we do. So we're opening up our new budget year in July 1 with approximately $420,803. As a requirement of meeting our citizens' participation process, we do have to have 2 public hearings. Tonight is one of those meetings, and the other meeting is called our needs meeting, where we open up our doors to the public and we request any information from them that they may think the needs of our community is, and how we could better use CDBG funds to address those needs. So that hearing was held via Zoom on February 17th. The applications for CDBG funds were made available. The applications for those funds were actually made available on February 3rd. We initially had the Zoom meeting scheduled a little bit earlier on in February, but because of my illness, I had to move it back a couple of weeks. So the applications were made available on February 2nd with the submission deadline date of March 3rd. I typically try to give agencies and departments and anybody interested in applying for these funds about a month's time. That allows them the opportunity, if they're first-time applicants, to contact me, discuss what the requirements of the grant may be. Some need assistance with the application. Some agencies that we have funded in the past will reach out if they have a new idea to see whether or not that fits in. So I try to give agencies and anyone interested in applying for the funds approximately a month's time. So the way we're breaking down the budget for this year, based on the demonstration of need and the applications that we received, we're setting aside about 20% of our annual allocation for the administration of the grant. That 20% does cover the CD director and the program director's salary and all the fringe related to those positions, 100%. We are capped at 20% of our annual allocation, which means we cannot set aside more than 20% of our annual allocation to this specific initiative. Okay, $63,350 has been set aside to social service agencies. We received 8 applications in whole with $121,000 in requests for funds, but we were limited to $63,350. Again, HUD limits us on how much we can set aside to social service agencies of 15% of our allocation plus 15% of any of our program income that we collected in the prior year. So as a result of that, our budget was capped at $63,350. These are the 6 agencies that we are recommending for funding. The other 2 applications that we received, one wasn't received in a timely enough fashion. There is a submission deadline date, and that application was received late. Considering the environment that I was in, the amount of money that we received in requests, it was really difficult to notify that agency that because they submitted their application late, we weren't able to fund them. But they did understand, and we still have a good working relationship with them, which is great. The other agency, I did speak to them. I had thought about partially recommending a partial funding, but after speaking to that agency, they felt that the amount that we would be requesting for their budget was too low for the amount of administrative work that goes along with the grant, so they opted to pull their application from the pile. So All right, the other areas that we're looking to set these funds aside is for housing rehabilitation. There's $203,453 set aside for that initiative. We expect to assist 3 single-family homes during that program year. Right now, during the program year, the cost of any rehabilitation on any project is through the roof. So this may seem like a lot of money for 3 single-family homes, but I assure you it is not. And the majority of the work that we have been doing in recent years has been mainly emergency assistance, removing, covering up a roof that might be leaking, taking care of hot water heater tanks, securing means of egresses. A few years ago, we did do a single-family home, and soup to nuts, it was close to $210,000. So just to give you a retrospect, an idea of what the cost is, $203,000 may seem a lot for three projects, but I assure you it isn't. The funds will also be used to support the rehab specialist consultant. As an administrator of a housing rehabilitation program, we are required to have a housing rehab consultant on staff. This individual is paid by project only. He reviews the project costs to ensure that they're reasonable. He does what's called a work write-up. He is a licensed contractor and also a licensed inspector. So he is very knowledgeable of the code, city codes, local codes, and also state codes. So we are required to have that person on staff as a mean of ensuring that how we're expending our funds is cost reasonable. The other area in which we're looking to fund is public facility improvements, more specifically for the reconstruction of handicapped accessible sidewalks on Mulberry Street. Some of you may remember a few years back, the CD program did fund a portion of Mulberry Street. This is now continuing on with that project and completing the sidewalk renovation in that particular area. All right, so just for the basic facts, our 30-day comment period we are currently in, it began on March 31st. The draft budget was placed in the local paper and also on the city's website, and hard copies are available at the public library and the planning office. Our comment period ends on May 3rd, which essentially means I can't submit the plan prior to that and prior to council's vote. It is still available for comment, and if there are any comments necessary. And our submission deadline date to HUD is May 15th. So I am asking council, because this is a proposed budget, that I respectfully request that when voting on the budget this evening, that you include language that allows the administration to either proportionately increase or decrease the budget in each category based off of whatever the final numbers are. Okay. That's it.
Great. Council Holmes.
Thank you. So the CARES Act fund, there's $267,000 that's being left on the table.
Yes, yeah, those are unobligated funds at this time. We will be more than likely throughout the program year putting out another RFP for the use of those funds. The city does have an in-house emergency housing program where we're offering mortgage and rental assistance for anybody who doesn't typically go to a social service agency looking for help. We have found that administrative-wise, the social service agencies seem to be pushing the money out quicker because they have a better pulse on the individuals that are looking for the help. And now that HUD is extending out the language where we can go out as much as a year in covering rental and mortgage assistance, those individuals that maybe got 6 months worth of assistance at the time are possibly still struggling, and they could continue to offer assistance to those individuals as well without putting those clients through the ringer of a new application with the city and filling out all the documentation and paperwork. So the money is still available as unobligated, but we will more than likely put out an RFP requesting that agencies or individuals, parties, submit a proposal to us for the use of those funds.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, thank you for coming down. This is a lot of work. You do a lot of work here. So it sounds like the funds are still going to be available, and because I was just confused because it said June 30th, 2022, so it kind of looked like it was
Yeah,
ending.
we always try to add a deadline date to everything.
Okay, but the funds will still be available? and
The funds are
okay.
still available to us for 5 years from the day that we received the funds. So since we amended our 2019 action plan, which actually begins on July of 2020, the funds are available to us through 2025, expenditure-wise. HUD loves to see everything committed and expended as quickly as possible, and we are working in that direction to do that. But we do have a little bit of time where we can sort of take our time a little bit more and be a little bit more choosy in how we administer those funds, especially when we're in a position now where everybody's getting back to work, things are getting somewhat back to normal. There are still a lot of people who are affected by the pandemic and who will continue to be affected by the pandemic for quite some time. So it allows us the opportunity to sort of take a deep breath, assess what's happening in our community, assess what's happening now the numbers are going up again, what's coming forward, and then really put those funds to good use, the balance of them.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Counselor Angelo.
Thank you, President Delacio.
Hi.
I apologize. Hi, Dorothy. Thank you so much for everything you do, and this obviously is a great thing for people that need it. And I apologize if this has really been answered, but do we feel that this information is getting out to enough people that might need this help? And
You know, I think so. I have a really good working relationship with a lot of the social service agencies, which have a really good understanding of the needs of the people that we are targeting with these funds. I do reach out to all the departments within the city. I reach out to all the counselors if they may know anybody or know any other agencies that might need any help. We've run some pretty successful economic development projects in the past. So there's some word of mouth available there. We put a notice in the paper, a notice on the city's NCD or the National Community Development page, which we're a member of. We notify other communities in case they're hearing things that might be going on in Attleboro. We're also part of a 14 community consortium that receives home funds. So there's those 14 communities that also know that we're an entitled community of these monies and that they're available for distribution. So I believe we're doing a pretty good job considering the size of our allocation. I think we're doing a pretty good job on advertising. We got $121,000 in requests for social service agencies and only $63,000. 2 of those agencies are actually new agencies this year, so I believe we're reaching the population that we need to.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Counselor Conchi.
So if you could go back to the pie chart slide, because my copy is in black and white like that.
Oh,
Okay. My question is on the public facility, $75,000.
yes.
Something's burning in my brain that I've heard conversations about how the mayor would like to spend some of that money. But my question is, would the Richardson School qualify for any of those funds?
So the Richardson School actually has an allocation of $70,000 to replace the lift. It depends on what the type of rehabilitation needs to be done to the building and whether or not the city has a long-term lease agreement with the nonprofit that manages the building on behalf of the city. As long as the continued use of the building is for low to moderate income individuals, which right now it houses a bunch of social service agencies, then a proposal can be presented to the committee for review and approval. But there is funds set aside for the lift. We are working on trying to get quotes. It's been difficult. The amount of quotes that we set aside $70,000 off of initial quote that we received back in 2019. Now it's up to about $110,000. So with the building being closed more than it's open right now, I'm not seeing any rush in increasing this budget by another $40,000 just to put a lift in that's not going to be utilized at this time. So we've kind of put that project on a back burner for the time being until costs come down a little, hopefully. And if not, then we would be looking to reprogram any unobligated funds to this initiative to get that job done.
So which agency is in charge of the building?
So the Community Development Housing, or the CDA Inc., Community Development Administration, for Attleboro. So there are 5 board members that sit on that board. We've been before council in the past. I happen to be one of those members. Gary's one, the mayor, Catherine Fierick, and also Laura Gignac.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy. Anyone else speak in favor? Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Welcome.
Hi. I just wanted to say hello. My name is Deb Kirby, and I'm with the ARC of Bristol County, formerly with Bristol County Savings Bank. So I've been with the ARC since November, so whenever I answer my phone, I have to kind of stop and don't say Bristol County Savings Bank. But I just wanted to say thank you. I'm not here for or against the amount that Dorothy has chosen for us. We're very fortunate. The city's been great to us in the past, in the present, and I'm sure in the future. So I just want to say thank you.
Any questions? Deb, thank you. Always nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else speak neither for nor against? Council Conti, do you see any need to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I would declare that closed, and Madam Clerk, read the second notice, please.
Second public hearing for this evening, public hearing regarding the license application to store flammable hydrogen refrigerated liquid from Leach Garner Incorporated at 49 Pearl Street.
Do we have anyone to speak in favor? Please approach the podium, and for the record, if we could have your name and address.
I'm James Owens, 109 Bayside Avenue, Swansea, Mass. I'm representing tonight Leach Garner, 49 Pearl Street. And we're looking to get our land license to store flammable fluids, hydrogen, in fact. We've been using that for many years. The old tank that we currently have, it's a hydrogen tank as well. And if you guys would allow, I could show some pictures
Sure.
that you could pass around. So I wrote like new tank and old tank on there, so you can see what we're dealing with. So basically, it's an essential gas for our processes. We form and do all kinds of things with precious metals, and the big part of that process is a thing called annealing. And it's really, really important to be able to form metal. As you work it, it gets hard. And if you keep working it, cracks and breaks. And customers actually buy the metal specified like what kind of hardness they want on their particular metal. From like very hard to, they call it dead soft. And the only way to achieve that is to put it through a furnace and have an atmosphere that consists of hydrogen and nitrogen. And what it does, it creates an oxygen-free atmosphere that allows the metal to actually stay clean. If you were to put the same piece of metal through without the hydrogen, it would come out black, and it would be basically worthless. I don't even know if you could even clean it. So it's an essential to our process. We have like several furnaces that use it. All of our product goes through that process. And we're in a position now where you'll see like the old tank, it has to be replaced. Our contract's coming up, so we're kind of under a very tight constraint to be able to do this and save some serious money in the process.
Before I open, so the new tank, is it going in the same place the old tank is? Is it going to be in a new
Yeah,
location?
we're using some of the lot that we got through the swap with Sturdy. You'll see it, it's like out in that empty lot right now. It's there, it's not installed, it's not connected to anything.
Okay, thank you.
point.
Council DeSimone, then Council Conti.
Thank you. So that was going to be one of my questions. How far is the new one from the old one, and is the capacity the same? Because the pictures, the new one looks smaller than the old one, but I don't know if that's just perspective.
Yeah, no, some of it's the configuration. It's actually 14 gallons larger in capacity than the other one.
Okay.
The other one's like something like in the high 9,000s, and this one's 10,014.
Okay. And how far is it?
The old one is actually closer to the building, and maybe back then, I didn't compare and see like what the guidelines were for offsets and distances, but where it is out in the field, it's certainly safer and away from more structure.
Any idea, if I may, how far it is from the old one? Any?
Probably a couple of 100 feet.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Council Conti, then Council Angelo.
Assuming that you're replacing this tank because it has aged out, what is the expected life of a hydrogen tank?
Well, the one that's there is, it's been there around 30 years, and that's around the time you gotta really start checking it out, around the 30-year mark. And the idea is, even with the new one compared to the old one, is even some of the mechanisms and the valves and all that stuff, they've all improved. So sometimes it's not a bad idea, and it's not only just for the tank, some of it's for the other operating parts of it.
And this is a double-walled tank?
I'm sorry?
This is a double-walled?
Yes, yes. Yeah, there's like a quality thing on the tank. It's like a document about this thick through the manufacturer, and that's part of the packet that goes to the state and fire marshal to examine all that stuff and make sure it all meets specifications.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
Is that, oh,
Counselor Angelo?
thank you, President Delacio. Is that going in where the Swink building was, in that area, or is
Yes.
that? It is, okay, that's what I thought. And I can say that, being with my relationship with LG over the years, they've always been a top-notch, very safe, very caring, follow rules, by the book and everything, and so it's, I'm sure this will be, and he's obviously right about the soft annealing of the material and stuff, and good luck
Thank you.
with all this.
Counselor Holmes?
Thank you. So just because you brought up the state, do you have to apply for something with the state to get a tank like this as well, or what's the
Yes,
process?
there's a lot of permitting.
Okay,
This land license is just like one piece of it.
okay,
We had to have separate permitting for the pad. We also have to have like a mechanical permit for the install date, and then we have to have, before any of that can happen, we have to have approval from the state fire marshal's office.
thank you.
And just to follow up on that, we're kind of up against the clock, which is why we had to,
Yeah, because like, there's still like things to do, right? So the state fire marshal has most of the documents, and he's waiting on this, and he's still reviewing the other stuff. When he says go, then we can finish the installation and, connect all the pipes. And even then, we can't fill it. They have to come back out, and then they have to inspect the work that was done for the assembly. And when that's completed and they give the okay, then we can fill it. Our contract with the current supplier is up at the end of May. So that's the reason for the deadline.
great. Vice President Corbis?
Thank you. Thank you for coming out. And based on my understanding and looking at this, it looks like the tank is actually moving further away from any residential houses from where the old tank is. Is that my, okay. I just wanted to verify that my understanding was correct. Thank you.
Counselor Waterman?
Not that I'm worried at all, but perhaps you want to say a little bit more about the safety features, and perhaps they're improved over even the previous tank.
Yes. Yes, there's more controls that are like pneumatically controlled, and it's just a safer operation. You can even see in the picture that there's more, even just like normal common sense safety, those bollards, there's more of those. That's a requirement now. A lot of the safety things have gone up in terms of like, distances from things and that kind of stuff. But the double wall tank is really an important part of that as well. And even that pad, the rebar that's in it, every single one of those rods has a grounding thing to it. So there's no chance for any like static trouble or anything like that, because it is a flammable.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Do we have anyone else to speak in favor?
Yeah.
Anyone to speak against? Anyone to speak neither for nor against? Council Waterman, do you see any need to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
All right, I declare that public hearing closed. I would entertain a motion to recess this special meeting.
Second?
Thank you. Is this a,
All those in favor?
okay, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We are now recessed to go into committee meetings.
I would call the License Committee to order at 7:34. And we have Councilor DeSimone, Councilor Dolan with us, and myself, Councilor Waterman. And I would like to, we do not have any We do not have any motions in front of us. But I would like to address both from the docket of May 3rd, we had a letter of complaint from Margarita Rodriguez, who is from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, regarding 100% auto wholesalers at 21 Washington Street in South Attleboro, claiming fraudulent business practices. And we had also received in recent weeks from the docket of April 19th, 2022, a letter of complaint from Pamela Crowley of Laurelwood Drive, Stoughton, Mass., concerning a false bill of sale from 100% auto wholesalers. I assume that at this point you've both had an opportunity to look at the statements that these folks have made. And I have talked to both of them in the past week. They are, and with Margarita Rodriguez, she speaks Spanish, so I talked to an interpreter, a friend who's with her. Yes.
I'm sorry, Council Waterman, two things. Did I hear you said you only had one motion, no motions? I thought we were voting out Leach Garner this evening. Second,
Are we doing that this evening?
yes. Secondly, I thought we're waiting on information from...
I'm going to let them know that in a minute.
Okay, I thought we decided to hold off on even entertaining the conversation until we had all of our ducks in a row.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to be cognizant of everything until we have all of the pieces of the puzzle together.
That is fine. That is fine. So I'm going to move on to the motion.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So I would entertain a motion from the docket of April on, now let's see. Where's it down here? From the docket of April 19th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the application to store flammables, hydrogen refrigerated liquid from Leach Garner, Inc. at 49 Pearl Street.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Oh, I have no discussion. I was satisfied. And I will call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, we have none. Vote passes 3-0. Is there anything else that any committee members would like to mention at this point? We'll move right along. That concludes the business of the License Committee. I will call for the next committee meeting at the next appropriate time. I will call for an adjournment.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Vote passes 3-0. And that concludes the business of the License Committee. We'll meet at the next appropriate time. Thank you.
I'd like to call the Public Works Committee to order at 7:38. I have three motions tonight. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $125,000 from account 6100-359000, Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings, to account 6100-530176, Water Enterprise Fund firm yield analysis.
Second.
Thank you. So this is, a firm yield analysis is, so this is for Wading River, and we basically have to hire an engineer to determine how much we can draw from a certain body of water without it drying up or without impeding on any other municipalities that are using the same water source. This is a requirement. We have to do this. It's a mandated part of our permit. So it basically, how much we can use depending on what other municipalities are using the water source, and to keep it at safe, healthy levels, the water as well. Does anybody else have any questions? Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of April 5th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the request of Massachusetts Electric Company to install a new pole across from pole 5173 on Pine Street.
Second.
So this, we had the public hearing, and he said that they needed to move it for spacing, if you recall. Anybody have any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And my last one from the docket of March 15, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $1,097,000 from account 1000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to fund 3563 sidewalk construction Reed Street.
Second.
Thank you. So we had the public hearing, we had everybody come in that was for. I don't believe there was anybody against, if I recall
No.
correctly.
There was just one, neither for nor against.
Right.
Right. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
Meh.
Of course.
So in reference to the gentleman that Councilor Angela just mentioned, he was concerned about, basically traffic and speeding. But I don't know if any of you have noticed of late an increased enforcement effort on behalf of the Attleboro Police Department with the new unit. At least where I live, I've seen police cars stationed at a side road and they've been pulling people over. So I'm happy to see that, and I think that hopefully that will address some of the concerns that that gentleman had about people speeding on Reed Street and all over the city, and I'm hoping that that unit can be expanded because...
I agree, yeah.
Hitting people
I
in the
haven't noticed
wallet.
it yet,
Yeah.
but I'm glad somebody has. So
Yes, I
that's
have, yep.
Good.
I've read about it on Facebook.
That too, yep.
Must be true.
Peter?
Hi.
Hi.
I will be supporting this when it comes before the full council. I think the neighbors did a good job in their presentation to the council. I am concerned, though. There's a lot of other streets that meet the same criteria in Attleboro. So this is slippery slope. That front office is going to get inundated, I think, with requests from streets similar to that have the same problem. I'm optimistic that we come up with a sidewalk plan to administer whatever money we get in, maybe part of the Chapter 90 money, set up some type of budget, that we have a plan.
Actually, we do. Mike Tyler, I can get that from Mike Tyler.
Good.
He has like a punch list, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And I agree with you. There are plenty of sidewalks that
Yeah.
do need attention, unfortunately, and new sidewalks that we could create that are needed.
Well,
I agree completely.
if I could finish my
Of course you can.
presentation, or whatever you call it. When I first went on this council, there was a sidewalk program. And money, there was an account, and money was put in that account from developers, rather than put sidewalks in their development. And you see that off Reed Street. You got some developments down there that don't have sidewalks. And it's part of the regulation on the planning board that sidewalks be put in, I think, at least on one side. Well, it's my intention, hopefully, to bring in new business so we can look at that sidewalk plan. Because they were originally, when I took office some 22 years ago, sidewalks, new construction, was dedicated, and that money was dedicated to the sidewalks around schools. We had a walking element of kids that walked to school. I know I'm an east sider from way back, and I think it's a shame if you drive around the east side and see the sidewalk situations over there. I've talked to our mayor, and it was come down tonight. They're gonna redo the rest of Mulberry Street. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to what they need for sidewalks on the east side. And I know I was pretty vocal about if I had $1 million+ to spend on sidewalks, it wouldn't be on Reed Street. But they gave such a good presentation, and I'm not gonna put a money value on a child's life. I think it's a safety item, no matter where you go. How do you argue that? So I will be supporting it, but I hope to see some new business come in. We actually get a sidewalk implementation plan on the books, so we're not gonna run into a sidewalk here, sidewalk there, because you get a petition. And I don't disagree with the parents. You know, they're protecting their children. But we can't go about putting $1 million sidewalks in just anywhere. There's got to be a plan to put sidewalks in, and it's got to have some teeth to it. So I will be supporting it, not tonight, for the safety of those children. And if I lived on that street, I wouldn't let my kid ride a bicycle on the sidewalk on that street. They drive too fast. It's a rural area. And most of the people who bought homes down there bought homes because it was rural. You know, it's not going to be uptown, it's not going to be the east side, but it is a dangerous street. And when you put a new road in, or you do major construction down there, that's probably the right time to put the sidewalks in, because it's cost effective. But you're gonna see some repercussions from this, but I will be voting for it strictly for the safety of the kids.
Thank you. Council Holmes?
Thank you. Excuse me. So, yeah, I think Council Dolan did say that there was a plan in place. Maybe we could get some documentation of that, which I appreciate. I'm definitely supporting this. The only concern I have is that I didn't love the answer from the administration about, about the maintenance of it, like taking care of the snow removal. Well, we didn't have it before, so even if the snow doesn't get removed now, we should be okay with that. We have an obligation. Once we build that, the city has an obligation to make sure that snow removal happens and that it's maintained. So that's the only piece that I was a little bit concerned about, that response to how is it going to fit into the plan to fix the snow removal. That concludes my comments.
Right, understood. Councilor Conti?
Thank you. I'll be short and quick. I've always felt that we should repair the sidewalks that we have before we build new sidewalks. And I think I'm alone in that thinking. I do believe that we have completed the sidewalks in a 3-mile radius around all the schools. And I think maybe we haven't completed it.
Excuse me, Mr. Conti, you take a ride around the east side and see the people who walked
Peter Thatcher?
Peter Thatcher. You drive around the east side, you see how many sidewalks are missing. In some areas, there's more than missing than around.
Well, you see, that's my second priority. I mean, if we can't fix the sidewalks that we have, then we should make sure that we've got within 3 miles of a school, all sidewalked for the safety of the children. So it took me a long time to come around to support this measure, because I saw a lot of things that we weren't doing. And I look at how this all developed, and I agree with Peter that, you know, this is the nose under the camel's nose under the tent. This is the beginning of something big. And I do hope that the new traffic control unit in this budget gets fully staffed, which will cut down on a lot of the speeding on Reed Street and other streets. As you heard earlier, they're already busy. The money is flowing through on the tickets that they're writing. So it's with reluctance that I will support this measure in the full council meeting, and that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Council Kovas?
Thank you, Councilor Dolan. I'll just share a little bit of data. I reached out to Chief Hagney about Reed Street to find out how many accidents were actually happening on the street. We heard from the residents, and based on their testimony, I was sold, and I will be supporting this. But I wanted to see what the data was. And just as a FYI, over the last 10 years, we've seen 172 total accidents on Reed Street. Now, admittedly, the vast majority of those are at the County Street intersection and the West Street intersections. A little bit over 100 are at those two intersections. But that's still 72 accidents on that one street over the past 10 years. And 10 of those happened right around those first two corners, right around 70 Reed Street. So we do need to do something to slow down traffic on that street. But it's a dangerous street, and I think it's important that we have the sidewalk, so I'll be supporting it. But I just wanted to share what the data actually was to back up the testimony from the residents.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I agree. It is a dangerous road, and I know that, you know, when people purchase their homes, they wanted rural, and I get that, but that being such a long stretch of road, people go fast. I mean, it's unfortunate, and not having a sidewalk is absolutely dangerous. As far as the sidewalk fund, we use, I don't know if you recall, when we did the Mendon Road just a couple weeks ago, we used that sidewalk fund, $26,000 of it, all of it. So I'll get a punch list from Mike Tyler, and I'll share that with everybody once I get that. Does anybody else have any comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. I'd like to call for an adjournment at 7:50.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
I'd like to call the Finance Committee to order at 7:51. Just a couple motions. Sitting on this is Councilor Cobus. First, we voted in the last committee meeting to authorize the submission of by the administration of the CDBG entitlement. However, we missed one important critical element that you heard explained tonight, that we have a new, and maybe you don't have it.
No, I have a copy of the new one.
Good,
I just
good,
need to find it.
good. So, what I want to do tonight is just pass this motion so that we can vote it out on the council. And then next committee meeting, I'll see if we have to rescind the vote that we took last week.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
I mean, that's good with you? Yep. So from the docket of April 19th, 2022, I entertain a motion to authorize the submission by the administration of the following. Program year 2022 CDBG entitlement budget for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. To approve the mayor's submission of the program year 2022 CDBG entitlement and program year 2022 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development on or before May 15, 2022. And once the final allocation is released by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, to allow the administration to proportionally increase or decrease the amount by each category presented.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. I really have nothing to add. I thought it was a very good presentation, Dorothy, and thank you very much.
I agree.
Any questions? Motion's in order. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. The second one I'd like to get out tonight is I think I'd like to get the capital improvement plan out if we could. Because
Sure.
it'll be 2 weeks before we get an opportunity to do this again, and I think we're gonna have a budget somewhere near there, so I think we need to get this done tonight.
Okay.
I entertain a motion in accord with the Attleboro City Charter, Section 6-3D, to approve the following resolution to adopt a capital improvement program for fiscal years 2023 through 2027. Resolution, City of Attleboro Capital Improvement Program. Fiscal years 2023-2027. Whereas the Home Rule Charter approved by the people of Attleboro in November 1973 requires the submission of a 5-year capital improvement program at least 6 months prior to the last day of each fiscal year, and whereas the charter calls for a yearly adoption by resolution of the council at least 5-year capital improvement program for the city, and whereas the charter calls for a public hearing which was held by the council on March 8, 2022, and whereas our municipal fiscal management reflects a plan to reestablish capital improvement line item in the budget of $500,000, and whereas our municipal fiscal management reflects a plan to maintain the capital improvement line item in the budget upon state certification of free cash. Whereas the city's capital improvements have and continue to depreciate and deteriorate logarithmically, and whereas a capital improvement program each year requires a city's future projects to be regularly reevaluated and updated in response to changing needs and conditions, and whereas the council makes the following suggestions and recommendations in adopting the capital improvement program for 2023. The Management Information System to replace Cisco switches at $76,657. The Council on Aging to replace the rooftop HVAC by using ARPA monies of $400,000. The Fire Department Twin Village renovation Phase 1 design of $200,000. The library carpeting at $174,000. The Planning and Development update the comprehensive plan at $25,000. The Recreation Department Bartech HVAC at $600,000. And the School Department with Hill Roberts HVAC $140,000. Hyman Fine HVAC $140,000. Willett HVAC $600,000. Willett Roof at $900,000. The total, $3,228,657 in suggestions and recommendations, together with the $1,812,000 in current requests we have before us, leaves us with $2,066,000 in free cash. In summation, the council is of the opinion that the ever-growing CIP items will never be resolved without perpetuating the fiscal policy of a line item with the capital improvement implemented 2 years ago. There is a need to build upon this policy for the timely replacement of vehicles, equipment, and minimize deferred maintenance amid the ebb and flow of municipal funds. Therefore, the council adopts the capital improvement plan for 2023 through 2027.
Second.
Thank you. We've discussed this enough, and I really don't think there's any need to say anything more. You got anything to say?
I double-checked that.
Anyone else have anything to say? Oh, sorry.
I double-checked that the items requested that we prioritize make sense. Those are the items that we collectively talked about and asked for, and so I hope the administration moves forward with those.
Very good. Anyone else? Seeing none, motion's in order. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. I wonder, should we do the ozone? Since the ozone is a bond, why don't we do the ozone?
Sure.
From the docket of April 19th, 2022, a certificate of unanimous vote from the planning board regarding the loan order for ozone system in the amount of $5,200,000 to certify the loan meets the requirements, and from the docket of April 5th, 2022, with a public hearing on April 19th, 2022, I entertain a motion to approve the loan order of $5,200,000 need for ozone system replacement at the West Street Treatment Plant as follows. Ordered that $5,200,000 is appropriated for the design, permitting, bidding, construction, and construction oversight costs associated with the replacement of the ozone system at the West Street Treatment Plant located at 1296 West Street, Attleboro, Massachusetts, including all costs incidental or related thereto that meet this appropriation. The treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow $5,200,000 under Section 7, Paragraph 1 of Chapter 44 of the general laws or any other enabling authority, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary or convenient to carry out this project.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Cobus. I think Courtney did a great job of explaining why we need this. Do you have any comments?
I do. So I agree that Courtney did a great job explaining this. I agree that it's needed and support voting this out tonight. The one thing that I ask is that we don't vote this before the full council tonight, just because it's a lot of money to be voting it through committee and then through the full council all in one night, and I'd like to give people a chance to be prepared for that, this to come out next week, if you don't mind.
Next week is a regular meeting. Yes, I don't mind at all.
Okay, but I'm happy to vote it out, and it has my full support. I think it's very much needed, and Courtney did a great job explaining it last week.
Very good.
That concludes my comments.
I just have to make some notes here. That concludes the business.
So we did vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. That concludes the business that the Finance Committee has this evening. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I declare the Finance Committee adjourned at 7:59.
Is somebody doing traffic?
Lori, could you cancel traffic?
Oh, traffic and transportation is canceled this evening.
Right. And then, so I'll call the IT and Infrastructure Committee to order at 7:59. I have one item tonight from the docket of May 3rd, 2022. I move to transfer $160,000 from account 1124100-578390 citywide reserve for cannabis impact fee to account 1100210-530177 police continuing appropriation record digitization.
Second.
Motion's in order. This is to digitize all the files that are in storage cabinets in the garage at the police station. I don't know if you guys have done the tour and seen these files here, but this is to digitize those so that they are safely secured. And I encourage people to support it. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion opposed? Motion passes. Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:01.
Zoning and Land Use Committees canceled this evening.
Okay, I call City Property and Claims Committee at 8:01. For the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. Old laminating machines from Humfine Elementary School that has no nominal value.
Second.
Second. Motion passes. Any questions?
We have to vote.
All in
Did we-
We gotta vote.
Sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. For the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to accept a generous donation of 3 printers to the Attleboro Public Library from Sensata Technologies with an estimated value of $1,500.
Second.
Obviously, this is a great opportunity. Any questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
I
passes.
just wanted to say Sensata has been very, very generous to the city and especially to the library.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, entertain a motion to appropriate $35,000 from account 1000-359-000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 112-11000-530-890 city solicitor. Additional funds are needed for the remainder of FY '22 due to increase in matters that involve litigation.
Second.
All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
All right. Now, this is contractual. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. That's city property and claims. Yeah. Which would be myself and Councilor Waterman.
Right.
Yeah. For the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $9,996 from account 100-359-000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 11241-000-530-101 citywide professional services for a consultant to assist Attleboro Historical Commission with ranking the inventory included in the Massachusetts Historic Commission.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Waterman. I think we discussed this before. This is a great, this is much needed. Any questions, concerns?
No, I agree with you entirely. This is an important issue.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of April 19th, 2022, entertain a motion to transfer $1,159.44 from account 11241-000-578-300 citywide reserve fund for transfer to account 11611 000-542-020. Clerk supplies office equipment to fund 4 desk chairs and 4 standing desk converters.
Second.
Thank you, Council Waterman. This is needed, and this would be great to get this going. Any other comments?
No.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. From the docket of April 12th, 2022, entertain a motion to accept this generous donation of 108 N95 masks to the Attleboro Health Department from Sierra Foods.
Second.
Thank you, Council Waterman. Obviously, this is fantastic. This is great. Sierra could do this, and Attleboro Health Department definitely needs this. Any other questions?
Thank you, Sierra.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. From the docket of April 19th, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following water department items as surplus and available for disposition. 200 water meters used, 35 student desk chair combos fair, 5 chairs fair.
Second.
All right, thank you, Council Waterman. I think this is kind of self-explanatory.
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
All right, motion passes. For the docket of
Take a vote.
Oh, sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. For the docket of April 19th, 2022, entertain a motion to accept the generous donation from the Martin Luther King Committee of Greater Attleboro to the City of Attleboro of one painting from the beloved community triptych for display at City Hall. Local artist Sandy Coleman created the painting. The estimated cost of the one canvas is $156 with an accompanying plaque estimated at $60.
Second.
All right. I think that's wonderful. This is a great thing, and this is, thank you to Sandy Coleman. Any questions, comments?
Same thing. This is actually, I think, a wonderful gift to the city.
Yeah, absolutely. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. I would like to call for an adjournment at 8:06. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:06. All right. All right, I call Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee to order at 8:07. All right, council is present is myself, Council Waterman, Council Blair. I entertain, from the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to confirm the resubmits for the following reappointments. Kurt Wheaton, Council on Aging, 4 years, February 2026. Paul Asfen, Traffic Study Commission, 3 years, February 2025. Stephen J. Nunes, Assistant Inspector of Gas Piping and Gas App, 3 years, February 2025.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. Hopefully, second time's a charm, and we'll get these guys signed up. Any questions?
Nope, they're important folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Great people. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, entertain a motion to accept the generous donation from the Holiday Spirit Committee of $435 in gift cards to the Health Department's Outreach Office.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. I mean, this is, obviously another wonderful donation from the Holiday Spirit Committee. We thank them very much. Any questions? All right, hearing none, we can vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. For the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to accept the donation to the City of Attleboro Council on Aging from this Holiday Spirit Committee for $325 in gift cards.
A second.
All right, motion's in order. And this is another one, another great donation from the Holiday Spirit Committee. We thank them very much. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope, they'll make use.
All right. All right, hearing none, we can vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. For the docket of May 3rd, 2022, entertain a motion to accept the donation of $1,000 in Stop and Shop gift cards from the Sons of American Legion Post 312 to the Veterans Office.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. Another, obviously, we love this. This is great from the Sons of the American Legion Post. We thank them very much. Any questions, comments?
Thank you.
All right, we can vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, entertain a motion to accept a donation of $275 in Stop and Shop gift cards and $125 in Market Basket gift cards from the Holiday Spirit Committee to the Veterans Office.
Second.
Motion's in order. Again, this is fantastic, and we love this, and thanks for the Holiday Spirit Committee. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No, thank you.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, the mayor respectfully submits a communication from Director of Veterans Services Ben Quell. Entertain a motion to accept a donation of $30 in CVS gift cards, $30 in Cumberland Farm gift cards, and $30 in Stop and Shop gift cards from the Edith Meehan to the Veterans Office.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. Again, this is great stuff. We love this. Thank you very much to Edith Meehan. And any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we can vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, entertain a motion to transfer $900 from account 112-41000-578350 citywide reserve for labor negotiations to account 124-01000-515030. Building inspection, sick pay incentive for 2 employees in the Clerks Association in keeping with the most recent contract.
Second.
All right, motion's in order. This is contractual. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, I would like to call for adjournment at 8:11. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we adjourn at 8:11.
All right, I'm calling Ordinances, Elections, and Legislative Matters Committee to order at 8:11. Present with me is Councilor Holmes. Good evening, Councilor Holmes. One item for this evening, I'd like to move forward on the request to increase fees at Capron Park. So, from the docket of April 5th, 2022, I move to approve the following amendments to sections 12-3.7 of the revised ordinances, which I already read into the record.
Second.
Thank you very much. Council Holmes, any comments, questions, or concerns? I thought Derek did a good job of putting forth the reasons, which are pretty obvious for the need for the increases, which are modest, in my opinion. Good?
Yes.
Anybody else have any comments, questions, or concerns about the proposed increases to the zoo admission fees and some of the new policies? No? Awesome. All right, Councilor Holmes, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, so that's going to conclude the business of this committee for the evening. I'm going to call, I entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:12.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to call Public Safety Committee to order at, what's that, 8:12 over there?
Yes.
First of all, just an information, FY. I'm going to have the police chief in, not next week, but my next committee meeting, to go over the Quinn bill, so everybody understands it completely. If you got any questions, I'm gonna call a committee early because Kyle puts on a good presentation. I'm sure there'll be some questions, so. The way it looks, and I'm gonna check into it, Mr. Conti, to make sure, this is already on the book, so all we have to do is fund it. But I think before we get to that point, I would be amiss if not having Kyle in to explain it completely and show us the benefits that he sees. And I see, and I know there's a few others on the council that agree with it, but give you an opportunity to talk to Kyle directly. And it won't be he said, she said, whatever, it'd be right from the horse's mouth. Okay, from the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $5,742 from account 1-000-35900 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 12201-000-558325 fire furniture for new bedding throughout the fire department. I have a second. Oh, looks like I'm all
Oh,
alone.
second,
say, yeah.
second, I'll second. Yeah, it's the VP.
Yeah.
Kelly and, yep.
Yep, I didn't realize both of them were out. Second.
Thank you. This is pretty obvious. I mean, it's self-explanatory. I can't ever remember in my time on the council where they've asked for new beds or anything like that. Seriously.
Point of order, so if, inasmuch as Chair Blair is on his own, can he hold a meeting without his two other members
Yes.
present? You're gonna-
Yes.
The president and vice
Vice
president.
Okay, just sitting in?
Yes.
Fair enough, thank you very much, thank you, Peter.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $72,978.28 from account 1000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 1222000511000 fire salaries and wages to replenish funds paid out to a retired employee.
Second.
Second. This is contractual, this is a gentleman that's retired, this is time earned money that he had coming to him. And they took it out of another account, fire salary and wages, and this is to replenish funds to that account. Any questions from my fellow councilors? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. I entertain a motion to, I don't understand this, body appointments, appropriate $101,209.43 from account 1000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 12201-000-511-000 fire salary and wages to replenish funds that were paid out to an employee who resigned.
Second.
This is contractual also. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to appropriate $150 from account 1000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 11241-000-578020 citywide bills from previous years in order to pay a previous year's invoice to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Fire Services.
Second.
Pretty self-explanatory. Better pay the state. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Move to adjourn at 8:18.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Special Committee for Tax Abatement Reviews canceled.
And so it's 8:18 now. We can reconvene. Actually, this President Delicio. Do we need 5 minutes before we convene full council?
Okay.
I call the full council back to order at 8:18. And we will jump right into committee reports, and we will start with Councilor Waterman.
May I ask, what is the procedure here?
It's just regular, so what we'll do is, we'll have you vote out the license application, and then for everyone else, we can have everyone just vote out whatever you want to vote out tonight. You know, if it's timely, vote it out. Whatever we vote out tonight, we can just expedite next week's meeting. Okay.
Okay, all right, thank you. So from the docket of April 19th, 2022, I would entertain a motion to approve the application to store flammables, hydrogen refrigerated liquid from Leach Garner, Inc. at 49 Pearl Street.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, I believe we have heard the presentation and we've had a chance to talk about it.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Before we vote, thank you for handling this. I know it's a little different when you have the public hearing, the committee meeting, and the vote.
It is
Given
different,
the time.
and that is
So-
what confused me for a
Yep,
second.
nope, you handled it well, and I appreciate it. All right, seeing that this requires a roll call vote,
Waterman.
it's roll call, right?
Yep.
And that will begin with Council Waterman.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Vice President Cobus.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone.
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
President Delicio.
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes. Council Waterman?
At this point, I would make a motion that we close the meeting.
You just need to call for a committee meeting.
I'll call for a committee meeting for the next appropriate time.
Thank you, sir. Council Dolan?
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $125,000 from account Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account Water Enterprise Fund firm yield analysis.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments, we just discussed it in committee.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote. We'll begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Vice President Cobus.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
President Delicio.
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
From the docket of April 5th, 2022, I move to approve the request of Massachusetts Electric Company to install a new pole 40-foot C number across from pole 5173 on Pine Street.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
None, we just discussed in committee.
Okay, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of March 15th, 2022, I move to appropriate $1,097,000 from account undesignated fund balance free cash, general government, to fund 3563 sidewalk construction, Reed Street.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
None, we just discussed in committee.
Any comments, questions, concerns from the council? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Vice President Cobus.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone.
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
President Delicio.
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
That concludes the business for the Public Works Committee. I'd like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time, please.
Thank you, Councilor Dolan. Councilor Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. Reporting for the Finance Committee from the docket of April 19th, 2022, I entertain a motion to authorize a submission by the administration of the following program year 2022 CDBG entitlement budget for the period July 1 through 23, to approve the submission of the program year 2022 CDBG entitlement and program year 2022 action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development on before May 15, 2022, and once the final allocation is released by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, to allow the administration proportionally increase or decrease the amount by each category presented.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
None whatsoever.
Thank you. Councilor DeSimone.
Yeah, I just want to state for the record that my daughter is going to be an employee of the YMCA, one of the recipients of funds under the CDBG grant presentation. I do not believe in any way that presents a conflict for me, so I'm going to be voting on this matter, but just wanted to state it for the record.
Appreciate the disclosure. Thank you. Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair.
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone.
Yes.
Mr. Angelo.
Yes.
Ms. Holmes.
Yes.
Vice President Cobus.
Yes.
Mr. Conti.
Yes.
Ms. Dolan.
Yes.
Mr. Waterman.
Yes.
President Delicio.
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
thank you, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the docket of April 19, 2022, I move that in accord with the Attleboro City Charter, Section 63D, to approve the following resolution to adopt a capital improvement program for fiscal year 2023-27, and I read it just about 10 minutes ago.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
I want to thank the councilors for the contribution to the resolution, and that concludes my comments.
Any additional comments? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Counselor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of April 5th, 2022, I move to approve the loan order of $5,200,000. Oh, no, I don't mean to do that.
Thank you.
Excuse me. That concludes the business the finance meeting has to bring before, wait a minute, no, that's not true. I think I did. I'll just check. That concludes the business that the finance committee has to bring before the council this evening. We'll look for a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Counselor Dolan, would you like to call for a committee meeting at 6:30 for Counselor Bennett next week, please?
Yes, sure. I would like to call for a committee meeting at 6:30 next week for traffic and transportation.
Thank you. Counselor Cobus.
you.
Vice President Cobus, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Reporting for IT and Infrastructure Committee. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to transfer $160,000 from account Citywide Reserve for Cannabis Impact Fee to account Police Continuing Appropriation Record Digitization.
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Holmes. Heard you first. Any comments?
Talked about it in committee.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote beginning with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That concludes the business for the IT and Infrastructure Committee. I call for committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you, Vice President Cobus. Counselor Holmes.
Thank you. Zoning and Land Use Committee has no business this evening, but we'll call for committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Counselor Angelo.
Thank you, President Delicio. I call for City Property and Claims Committee, 8:27. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I entertain a motion to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition: old laminating machines from Hyman Fine Elementary School that has no nominal value.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we just discussed this, and I think this is time.
Okay. Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept the generous donation of the 3 printers to the Attleboro Public Library from Sensata Technologies with an estimated value of $1,500.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We just discussed this in,
Okay. This requires a voice vote. Roll call vote, beginning with Counselor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $35,000 from account undesignated fund balance, free cash, general government, to the city account, city solicitor. Additional funds are needed for the remainder of fiscal year 2022 due to the increase in matters that involve litigation.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any other comments?
We just discussed this.
Any additional comments from the council? Seeing none, we will have a roll call vote beginning with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $9,996 from account undesignated fund, balance free cash, general government, to account citywide professional services for a consultant to assist Attleboro Historic Commission with ranking the inventory included in Massachusetts Historic Commission.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
This is much needed. We just discussed it. We're good.
Thank you. Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of April 19, 2022, I move to transfer $1,159.44 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Clerk Supplies Office to fund 4 desk chairs and 4 standing desk converters.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We just discussed this. This is very important.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of April 12, 2022, I move to accept this generous donation of 108 N95 masks to the Attleboro Health Department from Ciabra Foods.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
This is wonderful of Ciabra Foods.
Okay. Any additional comments? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
For the docket of April 19, 2022, I move to declare the following water department items as surplus and available for disposition. 200 water meters used, 35 student desk chair combos fair, 5 chairs fair.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we just discussed.
Any other comments? This requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of April 19, 2022, I move to accept a generous donation from the MLK Committee of Greater Attleboro to the City of Attleboro of 1 painting from the beloved community Trippage for display at City Hall. Local artist Sandy Coleman created the painting. The estimated cost of the one canvas is $156 with an accompanying plaque estimated at $60.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments?
We just discussed it. This is wonderful of Sandy Coleman, and we thank her.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this also requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
That concludes the business of city property and claims. I would like to call for meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Councilor Angelo.
All right. All right. Thank you, President Delicio. Reporting for Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee, we have 7 items tonight. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to confirm the resubmits for the following reappointments. Kurt Wheaton, Council on Aging, February 2026. Paul Aspen, Traffic Study Commission, February 2025. Stephen J. Nunes, Assistant Inspector of Gas Piping and Gas App, February 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Well, just lucky to be good to get this done.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
On the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept the generous donation from the Holiday Spirit Committee of $435 in gift cards to Health Department's Outreach Office.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
We just discussed it. This is great. From the Holiday Spirit Committee, they're awesome.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept the donation to the City of Attleboro Council on Aging from the Holiday Spirit Committee for $325 in gift cards.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Again, we thank the Holiday Spirit Committee.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this is a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept the donation of $1,000 in Stop and Shop gift cards from the Sons of the American Legion Post 312 to the Veterans Office.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Again, this is wonderful from the Sons of the American Legion. We thank them very much.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Oh, wait, sorry, is it?
It was a voice vote.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
okay.
He just said
You said
voice
roll
and
call.
did.
Yeah.
He said,
Say roll call.
Yeah,
I'm
that's why I
sorry.
was like, what's going on?
I
Okay.
apologize.
Sorry, forgive me.
On the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept a donation of $275 in Stop and Shop gift cards and $125 in Market Basket gift cards from the Holiday Spirit Committee to the Veterans Office.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Again, we thank the Holiday Spirit Committee. They've just been fantastic.
Thank you. And this is a voice vote, and I mean it this time. It's a voice vote. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to accept a donation of $30 in CVS gift cards, $30 in Cumberland Farm gift cards, and $30 in Stop and Shop gift cards from Edith Meehan to the Veterans Office.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
Just a big thank you to Edith Meehan.
Okay. Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to transfer $900 from the account Citywide Reserve for Labor Negotiations to account Building Inspection, Sick Pay Incentive for 2 employees and the Clerks Association in keeping with the most recent contract.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any questions, comments, concerns?
We just discussed this is contractual.
Okay. Any additional comments, questions, concerns? This will be a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
That's correct. Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
That concludes the Business of Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Councilor Angelo, thank you for pulling double duty tonight.
Thank you, President Lucio.
Councilor DeSimone.
Thank you very much. Reporting for ordinances, elections, and legislative matters, I have one item to bring forward this evening from the docket of April 5th, 2022. I move to approve the following amendments to Section 12-3.7 of the revised ordinances, said amendments having been read into the record previously.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. That concludes the business of this committee for the evening, and we look forward to a meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you very much, Councilor Blair.
Reporting for public safety from the docket of May 3rd, 2022. I move to appropriate $5,742 from account 1-000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 12201-000-558325 fire furniture for new bedding throughout the fire department.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any comments?
None.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this will require a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $72,978 from account 1-000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 12201-000-511000 fire salaries and wages to replenish funds paid out to a retired employee.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Just to reiterate, this is contractual, it's time earned and whatnot.
Any additional comments? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $1,209.43 from account 1-000-359000 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 12201-000-511000 fire salaries and wages to replenish funds that were paid out to an employee who resigned.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we discussed it earlier in committee.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of May 3rd, 2022, I move to appropriate $150 from account 1000-35900 undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account 1124100-578020 citywide bills from previous years in order to pay previous year's invoice to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Department of Fire Service.
Second.
Thank you, motion is in order. Any comments?
No.
Any additional comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, this requires a roll call vote, beginning with Councilor Waterman.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Vice President Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Delicio?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion passes.
That's all I have this evening to bring forward. I'd like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. There is no old business, there is no new business, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:40. Nice job, a lot of lifting tonight. Got a lot done.
Read in there, Michael. You did it nice and fast.